If you can zoom in on that sticker up on the corner, the rear window, if that is like a DPS, we support DPS troopers sticker, we donate to some kind of law enforcement agency, that is a heavy indicator to pull them over. Any support of law enforcement that they're advertising automatically makes me suspicious. I feel that same adrenaline being released into my body, and that's what kept me going in law enforcement. When you ask a cop, why do you want to be a cop, or why are you being a cop? Their answer always is, I want to help people. That's all bull crap. They're out here doing this because of the adrenaline rush. Certain doses every day and all day long like a cop gets, and more and more and more of it. That's why we have to elevate ourselves to more dangerous things to get that rush of adrenaline. When you first break out of the academy, writing a simple traffic ticket, your hand shakes and you get that adrenaline rush. Well, after 500 times writing tickets, it's no longer a big deal.
Good afternoon, guys. Disorderly Product News. What you're watching is a DVD series from the early 2000s, back when late-night infomercials showed you DVD series such as Girls Gone Wild. There was a DVD series called Never Get Busted Again, made by a man by the name of Barry Cooper. Who Barry Cooper was an award-winning interdiction officer who worked the Permian River Basin in Texas. I hope I'm saying that right. Anyways, he worked the highways and interstates from the Mexico border on up, catching money, imagine what else. Anyways, he ended up having an epiphany in which he saw himself creating more harm than good, putting people, honest, hardworking people, in jail for non-violent drug offenses. So he switched sides for whatever reason. He switched sides, and he ended up being a defendant witness for the defendants on false alerts by dogs. He made a DVD series in which he gave away all his secrets. It was called Never Get Busted Again. And then he made a reality show called Kopbusters, in which he put cops in set up cops to break the law and then videotape them doing it. It was rather ingenious. Watch.
I trained my own narcotic detector dog. When the Permian Basin Drug Task Force called me for an interview, I drove all the way to West Texas, which felt like halfway around the world to me. I had my dog in back of the truck, and when I arrived, my dog bounced out with a rope, not a leash, and I had a minnow bucket that I used as a watering pail. And my supervisors were thinking, oh my gosh, who is this country boy with a rope, a dog, and a minnow pail? And after hiding marijuana and showing how well my dog did, it kind of surprised them, and that led to get close to the border, and we'd get on the interstates, and we'd run search warrants, and we would work undercover, and it just never quit. It was constant. And later, with that type of training, I switched and reversed and started seizing money, and then I couldn't believe the cash that was leaving. So I soon realized no matter how much I seized or how many arrests I made, I was not catching a fraction of what was coming through the borders. I was sent to schools all over Texas that were taught by the DEA, the U.S. government, in these classes. This is the exact intersection that I spent 2 years where, as you can see, this traffic coming behind me and these cars turning the intersection. I would sit here. They were forced to go slow because this is an intersection, and that would help me get a really good look, bird's eye view of the occupants and the vehicle. So if you ever see a patrol car sitting perpendicular at an intersection and he's watching cars real closely going by, one of two things is happening. He's trying to interdict people for narcotics, or he's gotten a BOLO, a be on the lookout, dispatched to him of possibly somebody that was involved in a gas drive. While I'd sit at this intersection, I didn't like stopping the people that lived in Big Sandy. You know, I was trying to catch the larger loads going north and out of towners with marijuana. So if they weren't familiar with this intersection, if they weren't from Big Sandy, I could tell by the way they navigated this intersection. They would be somewhat confused, and they wouldn't use their turn signal, or they'd get in the wrong lane, and I instantly knew they were not a local. SUV coming through here looks like a Tahoe. He's not using a turn signal, and I noticed it was a single male, Texas plates, probably from out of town, but his age, he was a lot older. It just didn't strike me as somebody I would stop. Males with long hair, I stopped them all the time. Hair like mine, I would have stopped.
Right now is the creator of the DVD, Never Get Busted Again, Barry Cooper. Good morning to you, Barry.
Good morning, glad to be here.
On the other side, a former DEA agent, currently with the Investigative Management Group, Ann Hayes. Good morning to you as well, Ann.
Drugs. Well, it became clear to me that learning 750,000 people go to jail every year for simple possession, with 400,000 of those being kids 25 years old and under, which hurts their chances of being educated because they can't get the student loans. It's unreasonable to search and arrest somebody for something as harmless as marijuana.
Well, Barry, you're talking about simple possession of something that is against the law.
Well, it shouldn't be against the law.
Well,
that
it is.
Law was, it is against the law. It was made against the law. Much safer than alcohol, and the harm we're causing on American citizens by placing them in prison and jail where they can be murdered, stabbed, or raped for such a harmless plant is a greater harm we're causing than if we would have just allowed them to smoke the pot.
All right, and he says just let them smoke the pot.
Well, he's very far off base. I mean, as a former DEA agent on so many levels, I'm disgusted by what he's doing. But the main
I'm disgusted by the DEA's attempts to block my testimony in court regarding drug dogs false alerting by you guys releasing a 2002 highly sensitive and confidential report. You faxed it, and it ultimately wound up in the hands of a civilian, which jeopardized the lives of other civilians.
Let you talk for a minute. Let me talk.
Barry, hold on. Barry, let Ann respond.
My concern is that we are minimizing the problems of marijuana. Marijuana is not a safe drug. Steve, I work with people every day, especially with kids. If you want to be stupid, smoke pot, because that's what it does to you.
Have you lost your mind? Marijuana, you're making statements that science has already proven.
Barry, you have no credibility. You're a former law enforcement agent that is now
no credibility.
teaching people how to break
and
the
your
law.
approval.
I ended up taking my daughter to the first day of prison. Delivered her to prison. I delivered her to prison. Toughest thing I ever did in my life.
I knew there was injustice, but what do you do? Providence had led me to Barry, and since then it's worked.
I was contacted by a man in Odessa who had over-compelling unit planted on this man's daughter. She's in prison now, serving 8 years for something she did not do. Police are not supposed to run a search warrant or make an arrest on an anonymous tip alone.
Right.
And this vice unit has a habit of lying on search warrants and claiming they had an informant go in and see drugs in the house, and then they raid the house. We used to do it when I worked for them. If we couldn't get the evidence we needed and we wanted to raid the house, we lied and said an informant went in there.
Barry was a reformed cop, and my gosh, there's nothing, there's probably nothing more sanctimonious. But he was really repentant, and I could tell that he was repentant. And so, again, I was desperate, and I said, yeah, let's do it.
That was another cop car, I guarantee you.
There's another car behind them. Right behind them.
Oh, yeah, baby.
That's it.
They're about to raid it. Oh, shit. And Jason, you can tell them
They're in.
They're in, hang on.
They're in.
They're raiding it.
They kicked in the back door.
They're in.
Back door.
They kicked in the back door. I didn't see it. They got Adam in the front yard cuffed.
Handcuffed. They got Adam cuffed. Let them cuff all of us. Get these cameras ready.
All right.
How much further, Vic?
Ah! It's all right. You see that?
How much further? I don't recognize this way. Are we going the right way? Damn these lights. Tell them
these lights are
we got
crazy.
1 minute, one light left, and we're there.
What? Shit, we're just pulling up.
They're just about to leave.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go. Right here. Stop. Right here. Right here. You got the cameras. Get them out. Ready?
Go. Okay, we're out.
Hey, I'm Barry Cooper with Kopbusters. Why are you in my house? What? Do you have a search warrant? I'm busy making sure these Odessa cops quit planting drugs on people, so you've been caught in a
Free Yolanda.
We're trying to cooperate. We're not giving nobody no hassle.
You did too. Y'all planted drugs on Yolanda, and she's in prison because of it. That's giving people a hassle. You guys are wrong on this one, and you know it, and you got burnt.
I'll show you the paper. That's no big deal.
Oh, I want to see the affidavit. What judge signed an affidavit? There's nothing illegally going on unless y'all lied on that affidavit.
Okay.
What did you say to get in there?
Yeah.
What happened?
Talk to the detective that did that. You'll have to talk to
Tonight, Yolanda Madden is a free woman, and she says she was falsely imprisoned for 4 years. CBS 7 is the only station with her exclusive interview tonight. Madden was first arrested back in 2005 on drug charges. Months later, in 2006, she was convicted. In 2008, ex-drug officer Barry Cooper set up Odessa police to bring attention to Madden's case. Then, last month, an evidentiary hearing was granted, and last Friday, federal judge Rob Junell vacated her sentence. Today, she was set free, but there is a possible retrial coming this March.